wanted to ask you more broadly, especially myself not being a biologist, what do you think is the most misunderstood concept in evolutionary biology?
Well, I think there are several. One is the underestimation of the amount of time involved. And so people sometimes just don't grasp that there's these huge amounts of time. So you hear people saying things like, well, I believe in evolution when I see a monkey give birth to a man, kind of thing, because they don't recognize the time involved. Then again, I think there's the improbability. If many of them think that evolution is a matter of chance, because they think the only alternative to design is chance, and therefore you do a sort of probability calculation, the probability of getting all the bits in the right place, whether it's a molecule or a body. The probability of getting all the bits in the right place is negligible. I mean, it's 1 in billions. And they don't realize that it happened gradually. And you don't suddenly get something like an eye, or for all the bits falling into place in one fell swoop. What you have is a gradual improvement from a very simple, primitive eye, a gradual improvement step by step by step. In an earlier book, I used the analogy of what I called Mount Improbable, where you have a great big vertical cliff, and on top of the cliff is an eye. And the idea of making an eye in one fell swoop is equivalent to jumping from the bottom of the cliff to the top. And obviously you can't do that. So you go around the other side of the mountain, and you find there's a nice gentle slope. And you just creep up the slope gradually. And that's what really happened, because you get to the bottom of the slope, you have hardly an eye at all, just say a light-sensitive spot. And then you have a sheet of light-sensitive cells, and then you have that sheet bending into a slight cup, which can't form an image, but sort of gives us kind of vague idea of what direction light or dark is coming from. And then the cup starts to close in like that, gradually closing in. And you get a pinhole camera, which is a crude image-forming device. It's very dim, it's very inefficient, but it is a kind of image. And then a lens forms to begin with, any kind of transparent gubbins inside it, which acts as a slight focusing effect, and then that gradually improves and so on.